Revenge films.
On that day, I was playing in the kids area with my daughter and my husband. My daughter was having fun playing with a child we didn't know, but his dad seemed like a nice person and my daughter was getting along with them. So I spoke to my husband. Hey, look, another dad is playing with Michelle right now. You should play with her too. My husband was just playing games, so when I spoke to him with his cell phone in one hand,
Michelle, come here,
he said without even looking at her. That moment my daughter was playing with the other child, she ignored my husband's words and brought the toys over to the other dad, saying, "Let's play with this!" She started calling him her new daddy, so I thought I should step in and say sorry. But then my husband had gone off somewhere, so I stayed and played with my daughter. After a while, my husband came back, and when it became time to leave, my daughter was sad to leave the dad and other boy she was playing with. "I want to leave with my friend!" She started sobbing and became a little difficult to get her to leave. So I picked her up and carried her over to the car, when suddenly, my husband raised his voice and slapped our daughter with full force. I immediately tried to defend her, but not in time, and he got our daughter in the head. "What are you doing to a small child? There must be something wrong with you." When my daughter was hit by my husband, she started crying even more, but then my husband slammed the car door and continued yelling. We were outside and it was so embarrassing, and I couldn't understand why he was throwing a tantrum. I admit that my daughter was being difficult, and that wasn't good, but there was no reason for him to get that angry. I was not only shocked, but I was also full of anger. The car on the way home was the worst. My husband was irritated, and his driving was way too rough, and my daughter was crying the whole way home. Was it something to get that mad about? I thought, but it turns out that my husband wasn't just irritated by my daughter being difficult when we were supposed to leave. Apparently, he couldn't stand that she was calling another man her new daddy while ignoring him. It was just so immature that I was appalled. Even though he was the crap dad who was using his cell phone the whole time his child was playing. There was one time when I got into a new male singer on TV, but then he caused a huge fuss about some other small thing and suddenly threw a tantrum in the same way. My husband is usually a pretty calm person, so I didn't think much of it then, but I realized that my husband was the extremely jealous type. I tried to talk to him and ask him why he raised a hand towards our daughter, but he refused to admit that he threw a tantrum from jealousy. According to him, he was disciplining her for crying so loudly and being an embarrassment. I also went to my daughter and told her she can't say those things because it would make her daddy sad. But she was in a rebellious phase and liked to do the opposite of what she was told. But on a regular basis, they would speak to each other like,
"I hate you, Daddy."
I hate you too, Michelle. I like that little girl way more than you, because she's such a good girl, unlike you.
And they would bicker like this, and as an extension of that, Michelle started saying that she wanted a new daddy. Even though she was at the age where she didn't like anything, I was already feeling embarrassed by my husband who would fight back and be so petty to a daughter in preschool. But he had the maturity of a child. On a separate day, we were coloring in a book of dolls with our daughter, but my husband pasted the one that he colored on the wall and seemed extremely proud and satisfied with his work of art. Any normal parent would put up their child's. That being said, our daughter is still very young, and if she could just listen to everything, then we wouldn't struggle. That's why, as her father, he should be the adult and interact with her and her moods appropriately, but he doesn't know how to do that either. And if it wasn't a child, it would be even worse. I was carrying this all myself, so I tried talking to a friend who had a child around the same age, but
"No, that's definitely wrong. No matter how you think about it, your husband is wrong."
I think so too.
"That's crazy that he would lay hands on a child and raise his voice like that. Not only that, but he doesn't even realize that he's wrong. That just means he's going to keep repeating the same thing from now on, and he'll throw a tantrum. Then he'll never admit that he was wrong, and that's going to continue."
Yeah, that's why, to be honest, I'm thinking about a divorce, but I can't do that so soon. In order to raise my daughter, I'm going to need money, and to get a divorce, I would need to get a lawyer and try to get as much money as I can out of my husband.
"One of my friends knows a good lawyer. Do you want me to ask them?"
What, really?
"Yeah, I might not get an answer immediately, but I'll message them, so hang tight."
Thank you. And so I decided on the divorce. But if my husband were to find out that I was even thinking about that, it might become dangerous for me and my daughter, so I had to act like everything was normal. Then, one day, it was my daughter's birthday. My husband and my daughter had close birthdays, so every year we would celebrate them together. However, this year, Michelle was chosen as a lead role in the school play, and also both parents from both sides were available. They asked us, so yes, I'm sure Michelle would be really happy to have so many people celebrate her birthday. I replied, and we decided to have a birthday party. Of course, we were celebrating my husband's birthday at the same time. But on the day of, both sets of grandparents had brought presents for Michelle and had both prepared cakes too. But then my husband got in a bad mood.
Do you guys not even understand that my birthday is also included in this today?
He was muttering. There's nothing we could do about it. Surely you can understand that everybody would want to celebrate Michelle. If my husband threw a tantrum at a time like this, the birthday party would become a disaster. So I desperately tried to reason with him.
No, my birthday is included in this today. So it's not right that we're only celebrating Michelle.
No, the only thing not right is your brain. No matter how you think of it, the child should be put first. Originally, my husband was the one to suggest that we should have a joint birthday party. That's why I thought at least today he could deal with it, but I was already over it. After that, my husband compared both cakes that the grandparents had brought.
See? Look, even my cake is bigger.
He started saying. It was already planned to be for the two of them, so of course we had ordered a larger cake and it was obvious it would be big. Both sets of grandparents stared at him, but then at that moment the doorbell rang.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thomas said that he was going to be coming today.
Thomas was my brother-in-law, and because he was also a preschool teacher, he was somebody that our daughter really loved playing with.
Wow, look at you, Michelle. You've gotten so big. Here, I got you a present.
Yay!
My daughter got a headband for my brother-in-law, and she put it on happily as she went around asking everybody,
Is it cute?
On one hand, I was happy, but I also had a bad feeling, which was quickly about to become reality. It turns out that my brother-in-law had been asking around and found out from his mother that Michelle was wanting a headband, and Michelle was so happy she was all over him. I glanced over at my husband, whose face was only getting more and more red.
Hey, Michelle, come here. Hey, what are you saying? What's the matter? Michelle is saying that she wants to sit here. It's fine. It's not fine. You're not Michelle's father, are you?
He started yelling. He snapped at his younger brother and lunged at him with a fist. Both mothers screamed as my husband forcibly grabbed Michelle by the arm.
You need to stay on my side. Do you understand?
He looked like a monster as he yelled at my daughter. Of course, my daughter started crying, and this time my father-in-law snapped.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Apologize to Thomas and let go of Michelle now!
And this time he grabbed my husband. My father joined in, and finally my husband was pinned down. From there, the birthday party was turned around, and we asked Thomas to take Michelle somewhere and leave the house for a while. Thomas, I'm so sorry, even though you came all this way.
No, me too. I apologize for my brother.
After the two of them left, it turned into a family meeting. There, I spoke about the last incident, as well as the other incidents that had been happening, and I honestly told them how I was considering a divorce. Of course, my husband snapped again.
Are you kidding me? I will never let you get a divorce!
This time, he tried to grab me, but my dad defended me, and my father-in-law punched my husband down to the ground.
Who do you think you are? And you're telling me you laid hands on Michelle, you scum of the earth? You don't deserve to be Michelle's father! And of course you're getting divorced by your wife! You're getting exactly what you deserve, you stupid idiot!
He yelled, but even then, my husband tried to say,
I didn't do anything wrong! This is all because you guys were discriminating against me!
He started throwing another tantrum, so my father-in-law dragged him out of the house and back to theirs. After that, I was scared of my husband, so I immediately met with the lawyer that my friend introduced me to, and both sets of parents fully supported me as I moved forward with the divorce. I even succeeded in getting a full settlement from him. After that, I moved back in with my parents, and I heard that my in-laws disowned my ex-husband. My mother-in-law apologized profusely, and she begged for me to let them support us until my daughter became an adult, and we gratefully accepted. My in-laws and my brother-in-law were all really good people after all. Left all alone, my husband continued to insist that he did nothing wrong, that the divorce was all my fault, and he tried to complain to his colleagues, but everybody was shocked and withdrew from him. Apparently, he doesn't have anybody left around him, but I think that's an obvious result.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.